And what effects are you bringing? Are you bringing the quad?
Man, I have all the effects. I have the quad Cortex, I have the Kemper, I have the universal audio. Now I bought a Fractal.
Bought a Fractal?
I like it. It's more of a hobby than... But you know what I travel with? Up and down. For years, a GT1.
Man, I'm really serious.
GT1. Man, it's this small. Chris showed GT1. Since it came out? For several reasons, I think the pedal board is like this. The happiest in the history of pedal boards. The price, which is ridiculous, cheap for its functionality, the quality, which is very good, doesn't break what you use.
Amp simulator. I always have it there.
Only effects if they reverberate by law. Drive choruses? I don't use them either. I put it outside, but just for a reason. For comfort, to be able to adjust the pedal more easily, right? Okay, it's a lot. There's a lot of instruction. Let me close it a bit here so I don't have to go inside. And it's just for that, because the drivers, they're great, man. And since it has to have switches, and then you have to choose what you're going to do with the switches, right? I prefer to have the drive outside. You stay on the switch with the chorus. The switch 1 and 2 is to move forward and backward. Switch 1 and 2. It's just moving forward and backward. I'm switching presets. So I made the preset, for example, just with reverb. Let's go to preset 1. Preset 2 is reverb and delay. Preset 3 is chorus and reverb. And the 4 choruses of reverb. And it keeps, at this point I've gotten used to it. My foot goes fast and it's annoying, but it's doable. And the third one I was talking time. I'm going to program it to control the delay time. That's basically it.
And you? The drive, do you use a drive pedal? I have several, but I use one and you always use it. If not, it keeps changing throughout the guide. I don't let it pass the sound.
Sometimes I tweak it a bit, right?
But not during the gig.
No, especially because I have a double pedal. So I don't think it's like an overdrive. Yeah, the light one, okay. But deal with it, right? There's a part there where I have too many solos, but let's say, first it's like a gain almost at 12. There, it doesn't just come out big, like she wants to play chords, okay? When not, it doesn't surpass. The double, and I'm using what I know, several already, but basically the one from Strymon called Riverside. It's a cool pedal, really nice. A lot of people don't like it, but I do. Some people think it sounds too digital. But anyway, it works for me. And if not, I'll take 2. An overdrive and a drive, a little heavier. Heavy. The advantage of the double pedal is that it's just one power source. There's no cable, and it takes up less space.
And it's mine too. I have an exotic, I want to drink premium, and I know that for years you go there.
The channels are sensational too. It's the double.
I have another one too, but the same thing as you. I leave one with a little gain input on my setup today.
More punch, go for it. Sometimes I even combine the two, because it has this really good line. Dude, it's the baby. Preampe is like Overdrive. It's one of the best, I think.
I found it creamy.
It's very, very creamy, really. And it doesn't distort the instrument's tone. You can hear the guitar. There's a trick there. I don't know if they let it through. I've thought maybe they let a bit of the signal through along with the drive, because that makes a difference. For example, I have a pedal now called Gladio. Have you heard? No, it's an Italian company. It's called Cornerstone. Okay. This drive is amazing. I'll send you the link later. Bought the pedal, no contract with it. Check this out. It has a blend knob where you open up the sound of the guitar clean. Okay, so you're on the drive sound and you're turning this knob, this dial, and your clean sound comes in along with the drive sound. So there's a point that sounds really cool. You can play rhythm. Give a definition.
I understand what you're saying.
A lot with drive. It's not just the drive.
You really don't get too much drive.
That's why I think that BB seems to let a little bit of it through. I really think so.
A thesis that you perhaps think...
That little bit, just a tiny bit. You can't really tell because it's very easy to play with it.
But then you don't use the quad Cortex, those things, to record in the studio.
Quad Cortex. And you haven't left home to record yet, but I've never Never taken it out of my house.
No. Do you have a preference between them? Which is worse, the quad or the fractal?
I like the Fractal more than the quad Cortex for some specific reason.
So,
I think it's more practical to work with. I think that maybe the platform, a pedal, is the easiest thing to mess with in history. It's that over there. Impossible. You can't mess with that in just a few hours or even half an hour because of the touch screen. You have to find the effects. Anyway, the only thing I find annoying about the quad Cortex is the little drawings of the pedals. Until you get used to who's who there, they use some kind of Martian drawings, right? With color, with distortion. It's all kind of different, right? But then you get used to it. Right.
and didn't you find the fractal kind of complicated? No.
But then, the Fractal that I bought, it doesn't have amp simulation. It's a new Fractal that the model is VP4. Is P4 you? It's just an effect, just that cool. But the effects are amazing. And it's very easy to use. That's really, really. And dude, talking to the whole room, right? About the Fractal, he says dude, it's really hard to use. So I thought, man, I'm not buying a Fractal, no way. Because Dr. 4 is really a very technical guy. Besides being a great guitarist, he's the guy who helps all of us. When there's a problem, do it like this, do it like this. But this model that I bought is the VP4. It just came out. And it's just a multi-effect. It doesn't have amp simulation.
Does it have the effects?
Everyone, man.
Including the octaver.
Everyone. But you can use 4 at once. What is VP4, right? Virtual pedal board. 4.
Because virtual...
It's because that's the name they gave it, that it details, but it makes it seem like it's only virtual.
But it's physical too, right?
It's not a pedal board, right? There's a brand new one, man, really cool. But here's the thing, you have 4 suites. And for each suite, you assign a pedal here, right? But if you click on switch 1, for example, indeed, you have a chorus on the switch. Put in your setup, but there are 5 more inside. If you press 1, the 5 options will come up of that modulation. So you can have 5 different reverb setups on one switch. It's really easy to use, really easy. Go ahead and show us. So, you know how much it's costing in the United States, 700 something, right? It's not super cheap or anything. $699 is with tax. Yeah, it's not given, it's not super cheap, but man, the quality, absurd. And the size of it, man, is something like that. I'm going to start using this one. I don't think it's like that for you, since I handle it a lot, then I would do it. The following would be to put the drive. A volume pedal, and I wouldn't use it in the afternoon. Its rays are really good too. But then you have to listen one way or listen the other. There are people, you have to have the technical details. Over there, it already has an expression input. You can plug in an expression pedal if you want, but you can only place the expression pedal either at the beginning or at the end. There are days not after the rays.